So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for game number 2 between HellRaisers and Qwerty for the Dota 2 Champions League 2021. We saw HellRaisers come out on top in that first game with relative ease, to be honest, despite the fact that the laning phase went really well for Qwerty. Eru, as well as Comma, was able to boss their lanes. Like, the enemy Spectre, well, the HellRaiser Spectre had like hardly any farm. The Sniper on the side of Qwerty had top CS and kill participation at the start of the game. He was top net worth, but as soon as the laning phase ended, Rebel started making his rotations and was easily able to make that difference non-existent and just brought his game back into it. So it was just a fantastic showing from the mid lane Ember to make that game possible. So yeah, let's see if they're going to be able to do it again or if Qwerty might be able to do something else here. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. They actually decided to ban the Shadow Demon this time round instead. So they've left that in the pool. The support that's left at the moment is the Omni Knight, but with the Sven already removed, it's very unlikely that that hero will actually be picked up. Probably just be left out of this game. And they actually go for the Pangolier straight away. As I've said before, the Pangolier, good amount of flex to it. Either the offlane, the support, or the mid, completely dependent on current team composition and enemy composition. So, loads of space to work with just on that one pick alone. We saw last game that they picked it up with the Bloodseeker. So, maybe that could be the go again here. We'll have to wait and see. The HellRaisers snapped up the Undying Vengeful Spirit straight off the bat. Okay. So normally you would see both of these two heroes in the position 5 role, and neither one really excels that great in the 4 role. So I assume then that this means that the Venge is most likely going to be a core, probably for Pasha in the offlane. That makes the most amount of sense to me. Well, Qwerty immediately taking the Phantom Lancer already. It's a pretty early position 1 pickup. So we'll see how HellRaisers is going to be able to respond. Obviously, Qwerty is going to focus towards removing those big AoE damage-based heroes. The Lesh, first one off the table there. What other big AoE-based damage heroes are there? Why can't I not think of any right now? There's still quite a few more. Maybe they might ban the Monkey King as well. Because obviously the Monkey King's one of those heroes where you get like a Jingu stack onto the PL and he can't purge it with Doppelganger. So it's always pretty easy for the enemy side to see which one the real PL is. And they can actually just focus you down. So that could be like a potential ban. They removed the puck. Obviously offers a good amount of control against the PL as well as the silence. I mean, even still, the PL's most likely going to be building a Manta style anyway, so we'd be able to purge away the silence anyway, but even still, the ultimate can be a massive inconvenience for him. HellRaisers take out the Night Stalker. Obviously, that's a hero which is pretty popular as well in this current meta. Just the ability to just pop that silence, get on top of the enemy supports, and just keep them out of the fight and stop those like big skill saves from coming in. So I guess it's just mainly built in to stop like the Venge swap perhaps, to give their gank target any safety. And it's like they take out the Tidehunter as well. So they're always going to be pretty sure that this Pangolier isn't for a core, especially seems how Petru played it last game. Actually no, he didn't play it last game. It was Magikush, wasn't it, in the mid lane. So I wonder if that's actually going to be what they're going to do again. Maybe they might mix it up a little bit. I'm sure. But Qwerty decided to take away the Ember. I mean, obviously, that makes perfect sense. The Rebel was just such a beast on last game. I think his score was like, what was it, 14-1-11, something like that. It was a really crazy scoreline. And the fact that it's the Flame Guard does decent AoE damage, so it helps deal with PL illusions as well as Sleight of Fist. If you get like a Battle Fury, makes it pretty easy to clear up those illusions, or just the Maelstrom. Either one works. So yeah, definitely a wise ban. Let's see what HellRaisers is going to go with. They've been eating a lot of their reserve time right now for these early parts of the draft. Maybe they're considering banning like a previous hero from HellRaisers in that last game. mean, the Bloodseeker's still in the pool. Don't know if it's a hero that Qwerty really threatened by. Rupture doesn't work with swap, does it? If you get hit by Rupture and then your teammate swaps you, it doesn't do the damage. Or does it? Because sometimes those skills are sort of weird. It could be like the Fire Remnants from the Ember, in which case they take 0 damage. It's quite awkward. But it said they're going to pick up the Phoenix once again. I imagine that's going to go back into the hands of Always Want to Fly. Or Zayak, actually. Yeah, it'll be for Zayak, and Always Want to Fly is going to take the Undying. So yeah, it's looking very likely this is a core Venge then. Going to go for Pasha in the offlane, I would assume. You know, Qwerty going to take the Hoodwink yet again. Yeah, that was what Petri played last game. Wasn't able to do a whole lot, but they're going to stick with it, as well as the Bloodseeker. So they're pretty much going to have exactly the same offlane pairing. Whether they're going to be as dominant or not, who knows? I mean, I'm pretty sure that the first blood bonus gold that the Bloodseeker had is really what sort of allowed him to get that big advantage over the Spectre in the lane. Without that, I'm sure it's going to be a bit more even. I mean, actually, it completely depends. HellRaisers could just pick an offlane hero, which is going to boss that lane either way. I'm actually going to grab the Storm instead. Okay. So it's a hero, once he gets his 6, he can easily avoid the Rolling Thunder from the Pangolier. You can get out the Bloodright range. Unless, of course, you get like Stunlock from a Bushwhack.
10 seconds.
I can't remember how it works with Rupture, though.
5 seconds remain.
I think you still... I think you still take damage with Ball Lightning. I think you might, actually. I'm sure it's going to pop up at some point in this game. I have a feeling it will. So, HellRaisers look like they're after their position 1. Meanwhile, Qwerty looking for their mid laner. So, they ban out the Faceless Void and the Monkey King. Meanwhile, HellRaisers remove the Invoker as well as the Queen of Pain. Okay. So, the Faceless Void's always pretty good against the PL. You just lock him in place, easily able to find which one the real PL is. And the rest of your team can dump a lot of damage onto him. As well as like guarantee that the eggs could go off in team fights, gives it so much safety. It's pretty damn nice.
5 seconds.
But Qwerty have got so much reserve time to work right now. Full 2 minutes left. But they're not even going to need it. They go for the Bane? Oh wait, of course they don't. It's, yeah. Bloody... God, I can't figure it. Magic Crush is just going to take the Pangolier in the mid again. Okay. So I guess that threw off HellRaisers quite a lot, because they were expecting this to be a support Pangolier. But Qwerty just doubled down. Keep it as the mid lane hero. Going to give it back over to the Bane. And then they decide to go for the Gyro themselves as their position 1 this time round. I'm not sure how that lane really goes up against Hood Bloodseeker. Because, I mean, he can still be caught relatively easy with, like, Bloodright and Bushwhack combo. So maybe he might just buy a Quelling Blade at the start of the game just to remove the potential of those trees being a real pain in the ass. Seems like it could be feasible. Yeah, unsure. I'm sure we'll find out as this game progresses either way. But even still, looking at these lineups, we got in favouring HellRaisers. They got some good couple of team helmets, the egg as well as the cooldown. They don't really have any real good ways of saving it. I mean, I suppose the Storm can come in with like a Vortex. Pasha can always like swap someone away. Magic Missile, another. Perhaps that could be enough to keep it alive. Then on the flip side, Qwerty don't really have any like great egg hitters themselves. And they don't have any sort of like natural ways of purging off the minus attack speed of the Fly Spirits either way. So yeah, I'm sure most of the time they're probably going to be forced to just disengage from the fights and just avoid the egg as much as possible. Could just be the best shout for him in this sort of situation here. Unless they've got something else in mind. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, welcome back. Well, welcome in to game number 2 between HellRaisers and Qwerty.
Prepare for battle.
Obviously, HellRaisers now only 1 game away from securing up this best of 3 series, giving them some much needed points, and pushing Qwerty further into the depths of despair. Let's see if they're going to keep their current win rate of 0% in best of 3s. Hopefully not. It'd be nice to see him actually bring a game back around. They can actually take one. We're all moving down in this mid just to get a deep ward down. Or scout to see if there's a ward from the side of HellRaisers. They did actually have an observer ward there themselves, but I think it was out of the range to see that this observer ward got placed. So I'm sure that is unawares for HellRaisers right now. I think Fezol was trying to scout to see if they had an observer ward. He did get hit by the tower, but I guess he must have just thought it was always want to fly. He didn't quite actually go there to scout it out again. He just decided to fall back. There would have been some very much needed information, because there's only a finite sort of amount of possibilities where the ward could be. So as you just place your sentry ward like there, and that should hit the radius of pretty much the entire range you would normally be spotted in that location. It looks like HellRaisers is going to be able to secure the top bounty. Yeah, Qwerty take the bottom. So just going to be a 2 for 2 once again. No first blood found this time though.
Looking good.
So maybe Aerie might struggle on his wave, on his lane a little bit more. Especially since now he's up against the gyro. Actually able to put up a little bit more of a fight than a Spectre is in the early parts of the game. So we'll see how well he's going to do. Oh, actually, I just noticed that it's actually Zayak was taking the Undying for the position 4, and the Phoenix is on the 5. I thought that would have gone the other way around, but never mind. I am surprised. Let's see how this goes out. Can't remember the last time I saw a position 4 Undying. It's going to be quite interesting to see. Looks like he's just going to be trying to focus much of his decay stacks onto the PL. And allow him to just harass him out as much as possible. Come on, I was trying to like do some little beatbacks, but I think Zayak's very happy with that. You never want to trade right clicks against an Undying. Just feels very ineffective. Ooh, the first blood. It actually gets found. Comet dies at the top. Zayak gets the final tap. I think he must have just got hit by that one more decay stacks with a magic missile. And it would have been more than enough damage to find the kill. So it just shows Comet's got to be a little bit more reserved about how he sort of plays his way in this lane at the moment. Fezol just still beating into Zykes there. I'm surprised he had the vision. Oh, of course, Thirst from the off-lane Bloodseeker actually gave him the vision behind the trees. Makes it quite awkward. And actually, they're going to go for a magic missile onto Fezol there. A couple of right clicks with a decay stack. One more right click's all they need, and Pasha finds it. So another kill for this off-lane at HellRaisers, going a hell of a lot better than it did in game number 1. And they were still able to win that. So it's looking super rough for Qwerty right now. Qwerty just hits level 2 at the bottom of CS himself, only 5 and 2. But I mean, they can seek some sort of solace in the fact that Resolution's suffering on CS himself. But at least he's actually just found a kill. So that's going to actually balance out that a little bit. And Zyke does die. Oh, he must have traded himself to tier 2. Yeah. Okay. That doesn't really count. But still, how's this mid lane going? 14 and 4 to Rebel to the 12 and 1 of Magikush. So just a slight lead for the Storm at this stage of the game. Nothing too much. Pretty much just considered to be going even at the moment. They're only like 30 gold separating them. Magikush just guarantee he actually gets his bottle refill. Stop Rebel from stealing them both. Which would just put you in a really terrible situation for being in the mid lane. He's trying to sneak past that static remnant. Not going to happen. It's a lot of trade. The Rebels still able to just carry on CS away. Just got a few more like denies over the top of Magikush at this stage. It's not making that much of a difference. Missed that up top. Another kill for the off lane of HellRaisers there. They take down Comma, and it looks like Fezor might just be dying here as well. Zayak tanking up the tower a little bit. And it looks like they are going to decide to disengage, just push the wave in instead. They got a fair few melee creeps here. They might be able to do some damage to the tier 1. Actually, no, never mind. The respawn times are so quick. Combat's already back here. He'll be able to farm it up. But 2 deaths already on UPL. Second worst in CS as well. Pretty bad start. Yeah, bottom farmed core of the game. But I mean, actually, he's still pretty much equal resolution. So, despite the fact that Rezo hasn't died and has a kill, it's not made any difference to the CS, which is actually quite surprising there. But in the mid, actually, Magicus gets caught out. Both the supports from HellRaisers make the rotation for that to be possible. And they find that free grab. So maybe that's going to actually start changing the balance of power in this mid lane now. As Rebel only half of his level away from his 6. Meanwhile, Magicus still is yet to hit his 5. About to get it after 1 creep though, so gets a little bit of a power spike. But even still, he's got to be careful. Because once that storm hits his 6, he can either go for aggressive moves onto you, or start laying the hurt down onto your teammates. Despite the fact that Combat has died a couple of times, at least he's been able to recover his CFs, 25 and 4. Resolution, though, is still suffering quite a bit. Only 16 and 4 right now. I'm not quite sure how he's getting dominated so hard here from Eru. I mean, sure, he's hitting for 11 more damage with Quelling Blade, but at least Resolution has his own Quelling Blade, so I wouldn't have thought that would have made as big of a difference there. I don't know. Interesting to see. Oh, Fezor. Looking like he was coming in to try and scour some stacks being made. Looks like some of the creeps had actually been beaten into there. I think Zayak was actually trying to farm up himself. Yeah, he's 13 and 1. I guess he just wanted to get some sort of item online. Yeah. He's got Phase Boots and Orb of Venom up for a position 4, 5.5 minutes in. That's going to increase his aggressive position quite a lot. Meanwhile, Always On Fly gets caught at the bot lane. So a kill going towards Eru with a hero which is already doing fantastically in CS. So it looks like he's actually having a pretty good start, just like he did in game number 1. In fact, all of the cores on Qwerty are actually doing good in CS times. All like pretty much similar, 33, 33, 36. But even still, the Storm and the Venge are at the top there in net worth.
Amazing what you found laying around.
So many pokes and prods onto Combat. It is quite scary the amount of damage that these two are able to pump out. It feels like at any stage you can get gone on. Oh wow. Eru is already on his level 6. And that's just a dead resolution for sure. Petri just takes the kill. You couldn't bear watching just those really slow auto attacks from Eru. Just had to get the finishing arrow to the back there. But I mean, yeah, a level 6 Bloodseeker versus a level 4 Gyro at 6.5 minutes in. That's really goddamn rough. Up top, looks like HellRaisers trying to go for some sort of aggressive move. Wants to come up with the roll is there from Rebel. He's getting pretty damn low. The Tombstone trying to make some space. Fezor might be the first one to drop. The zip to the backbones there from Rebel. And Magicus is now trying to run away. He's got a couple of zombies on him. And another zip forwards. They find it. So 2 kills there for HellRaisers. Especially they're still after Rebel. If they got this thirst on him, Combat finds him in the trees. He's going to try and kill the Tombstone as well. But Pasha was there with the knife. Good bit of temperament to stop that extra gold going into the hands of Qwerty. Beru is not giving up. He's still charging in. Magic Missile with decays. He's taking a lot of damage, but he's so goddamn speedy. He pops the salve. He should actually be able to disengage. He will get cancelled, but he was still. Combat's now coming back in. I don't know if they have the capability to actually find any more kills, or maybe now the Pasha's turn around. He might be in a spot of bother here. Yeah, I think he's overstayed his welcome. Should have just fallen back when Zayak did. So actually, it was a pretty decent response from Qwerty. They find a good couple of kills, especially on the Storm Spirit. Well, let's talk about Storm Spirit. Jump up to Petri. Easily able to find that kill. Magicus, oh, he gets stuck in another spot. So many times Magicus has been punished like this, he's still just rolling on top of always one fly. Swashbuckle missed! It didn't connect! And with the Fire Spirits onto Eru, this has got his Bloodseeker killed!
You blew it.
Oh no, how does that happen? It was a point-blank Swashbuckle. How could you miss that? That was very unfortunate. Literally, if he landed that, the Phoenix would have been dead, the Bloodseeker would have been kept alive. Very unfortunate indeed. Oh, a couple more bits of server lag.
Bottom tower
Hopefully it's just the server and not me. Still 2k gold advantage for HellRaisers, 9 minutes in. Combat is actually second in net worth right now, despite how much of a rough start he had in that lane. But he's been able to recover. Still trying to build it for the standard diffusal blade first item. Only 300 gold ahead of resolution at the moment. We're going in for that Chrysalis, which I assume then he's going to go into the Ags and then Maelstrom or Daedalus. It seems like those first two items are always the same for pretty much every gyrocopter, Chrysalis into Ags, but then the third option does always make a difference, depends what sort of game you're up against. Maybe because they're versus a PL, he might go for the Maelstrom. Just give him some sort of extra AoE-based damage to deal with the illusions.
There is little hope for Dire's middle tower.
I think that would make the most sense to me. Petru sees the regen rune.
Tower is under attack.
Ends up seeing Zayak misses his pushback though. Not that they've been able to do anything even if that did land. Such a difficult kill to find at this point. Oh, the right jump forward there for Rebel. Just poking onto Magikush. Don't want to commit for too much more. Zayak actually going in for the Holy Locket. So he's still just going for like a big support-based build. He's been able to progress quite nicely. 1,300 gold over the top of his opposing position 4. I mean, even Fly is doing better than the enemy position 4. So maybe that's the difference to make this gold difference. Looks like Zayak might just die here though. He's going to pop everything down though to try and stay alive. I think he's just going to end up feeding away a tombstone though. Got a bit ambitious there. Maybe down bottom. Eru getting ganked on for 3 heroes. But it looks like Qwerty also want to try and find a response kill here onto Pasha. 3 heroes collapse onto him himself. And yeah, with the Fiend's Grip. Not a hope in hell's chance of surviving that one. Oh, Fezzer actually gets the last tick of damage. That was unfortunate for Combat. He would have loved to get that bit of bonus gold. Maybe still think that's just enough to get his defusal. Well, off this catapult it definitely is. Okay, didn't even get the catapult. Lol. Yeah, now he will buy it though. And well, once again, HellRaisers looking to go for another aggressive move. Few members smoked up. Gonna jump forward onto Magikush. He's able to get the jump backwards, but the Rolling Thunder gets countered out with the pushback. It's a nice character for Petru. They're going to turn this round. Can he get the stun lock? No, he can't. The egg pops, holds him in place. He's going to roll back in. He gets another stun onto Rebel. Suppose the swashbuckle is not enough. He's just barely able to survive, but they still find the kill onto Magikush. Petru just has to run away. There, maybe coming in for some sort of counterplay, but it's not going to be enough. They just end up feeding away the Bane as well. You always want to Fly to sacrifice his life to heal up his carry a bit more. So nice play from HellRaisers. Getting 2 kills, not losing anybody. They were closer to hemorrhaging Rebel, but they were successful. He is still going in for the Orchid Malevolence. Just a normal Storm build. I mean, sometimes you don't bother seeing the Soul Ring pickup. Obviously, it makes sense. The Storm just requires a hell of a lot of mana, and in the early parts of the game doesn't have a huge amount to work with. But obviously, his HP pool will suffer as a result. He needs to be careful. 3 members of Qwerty are nearby. Oh, they are just focused onto the tier 1 tower. Not going to bother trying to do much else. So, he does see Eru. And just calls in the reinforcements of Rebel. And there should just be a dead Bloodseeker. I don't know. It's taking a while to die. They're actually not going to have damage. Meanwhile, Combat just goes onto Rebel, who now has no mana to work with. They even drop the Rupture onto Zyax. He's going to die. They're both dead. Magicus trying to turn around onto Pasha as he jumped in with the swap to try and help out his comrades, but he's just going to die as well. So 3 quick kills there for Qwerty. They lost the Bloodseeker, but that is 100% an acceptable loss. Or maybe Resolution might get caught out here as well. The TP though from Combat is a really long one. Yeah, he can't get ahead. So at least Rezo is able to escape with his life. Those are the sort of moves that Qwerty need to make to keep themselves in this game. I mean, while all this has actually been going on, Combat's put himself at the top of the net worth.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And he should have this Yasha online
For enemies.
in about 450 gold. Oh, we went down bottom. Rebel trying to go for a solo kill onto Petra, who just goes piggy mode and runs away. And Rebel got the heads up idea not to try and pressure him for more. Does fall back for the HellRaisers. Get the grab onto him. The Rupture just comes off a cooldown, but Rebel goes for the super long zip away. Doesn't want to risk getting caught out of position there. And because of all those rotations, it actually gives space for his team to take down the tier 1 in the mid. So actually ends up panning out quite nicely for HellRaisers. Sure, they're probably going to lose their tier 1 down the bot, but it's a very sort of negligible tower at this stage of the game. Doesn't offer you a huge amount. So I think they're perfectly happy with sacrificing that. And Zyax always just using this like tombstone to get his own farm going. It's quite a greedy style of an Undying, but it makes sense as a position for. As he's already got his Holy Locket online. I assume he's going to go for a mechanism?
Radiant's bottom tower is no more.
It makes sense if he went with the mech. Obviously then the Holy Locket heal just gets amplified even further. But this is like big medic mode really. Maybe having 3 different sort of heals would be too much. Doing a like tunnel vision onto the same thing. Petru. Ooh,
Precious bounty.
They thought about it. They changed their mind, but they had it in there. For a brief second, they were like, ooh, a free squirrel. So Pasha, with his axe now online, the Immortal Venge actually going to be able to start pumping out quite a lot of work in these team fights. Got to kill her twice now, otherwise she's always going to be an annoyance. And speaking of axe, Resolution also just got his own delivered with his Chrysalis, so his damage output is quite considerable. Or he would just find Petra immediately swap out. He will die. The Flesh Golem Tombstone get dropped as well. So this tier 2, I think is just going to fall. I'm not sure if there's much Qwerty could do to defend it, but I say that and they're actually coming in either way. They're going to find the grapple towards all the fly, just gets deleted straight away, and like that, HellRaisers is going to try and disengage. The Atos holding back Pasha for a little bit. Not going to do too much. Rebel just immediately zipping straight up onto the Bane. He gets taken out before he can use his Fiend Grip. Will fight back to try and help his team. Pasha, I think, is going to get caught as the Rupture's on top of him. But even still, obviously, he's got that Aghanim Scepter. He's going to see if he can stay alive for a bit longer. Well, Magicus was just keeping chase onto Rebel, but another zip's going to get him out of there. And the cooldown is doing a lot of damage onto Zyax, but even still, there is Pasha still there trying to do some work. Not going to be able to find anything. It looks like everyone else from HellRaisers will get out. HellRaisers? But even still, that was technically a 3 for 0. Maybe a 3 for 1. You can count Petru's death there by the tier 2. Which I guess that's not too bad for Qwerty, despite the fact they lost the tower at the same time. But still, Resolution actually at the top of the net worth now, which is not a good place for the PL. I'm not normally sure which one of these 2 cores would have like the natural superior farming speed. I would assume it would be the Gyro as long as if there's some stacks, because Flat Cannon just makes quick work of everything. Ooh, always want to fly. Nearly gets caught there, but has the good sense to change his direction. Actually, instead, the swap back there from Pasha is going to focus on Tefezor as much as he can. The rest of Ron Thunder gets the stun to allow him to disengage. Tombstone from Zyax just to get the kill onto the ward, and everyone else should just disengage. Pasha, though, still just charging in. He will now fall back. He actually go for the Radiance next as well. which is a nice item with this Aghanim Scepter build, because it's working, obviously, even when you go into your second life of the illusion form. Just going to ramp up his DPS even further. And then it's going to take Roche for free. Pretty much dead already, and I don't think there's any way that Qwerty could really know that was going on. They had absolutely no vision in the area. It was all denied from them. And yeah, all they can see is that this bottom part of the map where the majority of their observer wards are. Which is why this is pretty much the location that they're all hanging about. Wanting to farm up in some secure areas. Don't want to go wandering into any danger zone. Oh, Fezzor though. Maybe going to get caught here. Oh, Eri popped into the side with a blood right. Maybe they can go for this cheeky kill towards him on the fly. He swaps him, but he still gets hit by the sharpshooter. Not that it did much damage at all. Magicka still trying to build into his own Ags. 950 gold away. So I have it online in like a couple of minutes. A minute and a half maybe. Which might be quite nice for him. Meanwhile in the mid, looks like Zayak was just getting charged in there from combat. Rebels zipping in and out, trying to keep him alive as best as he can. Can they guess which illusion it is though? They go for the wrong one. Combat still just run off the side. The Magic Missile though, it gets the right one, and they pull him back in. There is going to be the Doppelganger trying to make some space. Combat's running away. There's a load of zombies chasing after him, and he still get ran down. They find the kill, and he couldn't even get the grab onto Zayak himself. Just gets baited in by the enemy support. I'm kind of surprised he decided to start chasing up to here. I thought maybe once Zayak's got inside the river and started running down, he might just disengage then and just signed it off. It's not even that valuable of a kill. Just shows where greed gets you, boys. Absolutely nowhere. Now tier 2 just getting BD2. Not only creeps in sight, just the Sunray healing everybody up. So just the 2 towers at the bot lane left for Qwerty to work with. I keep hitting my mic. I just need to make sure it's on the right settings now. Because sometimes when I hit my mic, it like disconnects it, reconnects it, and I've got to like change some stuff around. But it seems fine. It's still good. Don't worry.
The dire scan. On the hunt for radiant forces. Dire's bottom tower is
Fezzor.
under attack.
Trusty shovel. On for cooldown. He's not using it. The efficiency. The efficiency, man. Use it. It could be a free bounty rune. It's like 500 net worth for your whole team at least. Or it could just be free resources. Both are super good. People really underestimate the power of a trusty shovel. It's super good. It really is. Even when I'm like playing position 5 or something, and I've got like a tier 3 item, I'll still keep the shovel in my backpack. And every single time it's off cooldown, I'll swap it in, use it, swap it back out. It's literally just free items. It's free money. There's no reason not to use it. Unless you've reached the point in the game where you need all the backspace room you can possibly get. In which case then, sure, I can understand. Meanwhile though, HellRaisers are going for high ground siege. They're pushing back Resolution pretty easily. He does have the Aegis, but I'm sure they want to pop it just like that. And it will actually be removed. Meanwhile, Rebel jumping in. He does get the control onto the Bane a little bit, but even still, Magicka's just rolling in and out, makes some space. They find the kill onto Pasha. But even still, he does have that first life. And Fezzor just gets traded off that. Always want to fly, gets hit by the Rupture. There is the Yule Scepter trying to disjoin it a little bit if they can. I think he's still going to die in here, but they swap back in Petrus. That's a pretty decent trade. The Tombstone might fall down to come up. Actually, no, he does all commit. He will just decide to fall back. Even still gets the final touch onto the Tombstone there. But even though it's a 3 versus 3, HellRaisers not feeling like... Actually, no, it's a 4 versus 3. And yet they're still going to fall back. Interesting choice. Especially seems how Rupture and Rolling Thunder both on cooldown. And yet they still decide to leave. I mean, Rebel had like a quarter mana left. So maybe that was the main reason why. Not sure. People tell. They decide to fall back. They don't want to risk it too badly.
Over here now.
But it's nice that they actually got the a decent use out of the Aegis as well. Seems how it was running out in about 25 seconds.
I'm getting a second wind.
Powerful regen, Rune on Storm. Super strong. He's just going to zip through this wave, quickly delete it, unless Magikush removes it. And able to avoid that. Probably can't zip around too much more, because otherwise the regen's not actually going to be able to fill him up.
Here I am.
One of the greatest runes in the world for a Storm. Really is. I think Arcane's is still better than regen. Well, actually, was all like that. Another jump forwards. Resolution pops his BKB, charge him with the cooldown. Do a lot of damage to everyone. Meanwhile, Rebel focusing on towards Fezzle. Takes him down. Eru pops his own BKB, but he can't survive long enough to actually get out. Meanwhile, Pasha swap back in Magikush. Or the arrow, the stun, not quite fast enough. Magikush actually thinking about turning around here. Dual Scepter there from always want to fly, but even still can't dodge out the Bushwhack. Rebel still jumping forwards. He's actually close enough for left Vortex. One more jump forwards, and he does actually get the range. He's got no more left to play with, but even still, the rest of his team might be able to find that kill. The Rocket gets a connection, but they couldn't actually get the finish. And it costs Zayak's life as well as Pasha's. And now Combat, he might just find the kill here onto Rebel. He's having at mana. He can't do anything. He's actually going to get a little refill here from the bounty rune. But he doesn't go for any further zips. Instead tries to stand his ground and doesn't do anything. He'll just die as well. It's actually a pretty nice little fight there coming out from Qwerty. They take 4. And they don't lose anyone for it. I mean, I suppose you could count the Bloodseeker. But it's sort of like 2 different engagements. They all just got baited in for the potential kill with the Pangolier. Unfortunately for them, they just couldn't find it. And now come up, closing in towards that Heart of Tarask now. Once the PL builds the IM, it's going to be so difficult to actually find this kill. Man's going to be tanky as all hell. And what's actually the next time coming out from the Gyro? Daedalus? Yeah. I mean, he's got the Demon Edge queued up. He also has a Morbid Mask. I mean, obviously, then if you've got the Daedalus, it means you're going in for the... If you've got the Demon Edge, sorry, queued up, it means you're going in for the Daedalus. Then I assume he's going to turn this Morbid Mask into a Satanic. Makes the most amount of sense. Well, Qwerty have gone for this little smoke move. Unfortunately for them, no one from HellRaisers is in the area, so they're not going to get anything out of this. Maybe they're hoping to find like Rebel or somebody just lurking behind. So Resolution just now got his Daedalus. So there's probably going to be a smoke move here from HellRaisers. Try and make some sort of aggressive play themselves now. Let's see who they find. They're just going to run past an illusion of Combat. Obviously, as they don't break the smoke, you're easily able to identify what they are. Just keep on pushing forwards. They're still going to head into the triangle, which they will actually intercept Petru and Eru. Actually, no, Resolution deciding to break his smoke. But Roshan potentially up in 7 seconds now. We'll see what the actual official time is going to be. 2 minutes 25. So a relatively long respawn timer. No one's going to be able to capitalize off that anytime soon. Everyone HellRaisers still just saw group up with Smith. Looks like they want to take a fight. And they've still got this Daedalus from Resolution that's yet to be like actually tested in the fires of battle yet.
Regeneration.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
Another regen room for Rebel. Nice, nice.
I'm over here.
Quite going for a move themselves now. Come on, his smoke breaks off to the side. HellRaisers see it though, because they've got that high ground wards. They know this move's coming. They go for the stun off the sides there, on towards Pasha, but they make immediately gets dropped. Eru's going to pop his BKB and disengage. Looks like they are going to be able to dodge this egg out completely. No one gets caught. And just like that, HellRaisers going to try and disengage themselves. They're going to focus on Pasha, who actually swaps back in Petru aggressively. They take him out. Pasha's first life will get obliterated, as well as always on 5. Maybe actually imagine because he jumps over the top of him. He avoids it. Zayak, though, not going to be so fortunate. He will be the next casualty for HellRaisers. Resolution pops his BKB, just trying to stand his ground. They get the silence there off onto Magikush. They focus onto him. But the Fiend's Grip, it comes out there from the Bane. They will manage to get the Purge, but it doesn't matter. Resolution's still going to die for this. Rebel just has to go for the Zip TP out. Only way he's going to be able to survive this. Fezzel gets super low, but unfortunately, they couldn't quite find it there. But actually, no, Pasha jumps forwards. It's going to be asleep. It keeps him alive, but not for long. Pasha will still find the grab there onto Fezzel, but it doesn't really matter, as it's still a big win there for Qwerty, sorry. They only lose their position 5. They take down 4 heroes of HellRaisers. Oh, Rebel actually just finds a cheeky extra kill there onto Magikush, though. I didn't even know he was going to be there. They didn't have an observer ward in the area. What? Must have just read him. Maybe he saw like the 28-minute mark. The rune didn't spawn up here. And he knew that he would go to the bot to fill up his bottle, perhaps. If so, that's a pretty good read. Roshan also up right now. Will anyone side of Qwerty get it? Wow. Komar, he goes into the pit as soon as it spawns. But it doesn't look like he wants to commit onto it, though. I suppose it seems that a majority of the members of HellRaisers were respawning. This team wasn't nearby. They're going to move back in. With the high ground vision here from HellRaisers, they see the spot. Petru will realise this. So Qwerty know that a potential counterplay is going to be coming out from HellRaisers, and sure enough, they're all in position. Just illusions in the pit. They're all gone. Now we're back to this sort of standoff position here. Both teams in the right spot to make a jump if the opposing team makes a move into the pit. Come on, come back in once more. Just keeps on poking and prodding. Maybe wants to force some sort of response here. He actually jumps out aggressively towards Pasha. All these illusions are going to make it really confusing. Tomb Killing here drops from sight. The stun. He actually gets countered there from the usage of the Mana Star, but they still found the quick grab onto Komar. He's actually just dead. Qwerty have lost their position 1. He's gone for 70 seconds without a buyback. This is just going to be the Roche for free here into the hands of HellRaisers with the Shard as well, which they give over towards Rebel.
Regeneration.
That's actually quite strong. Now they're going to give that over towards the Gyro. The long zip for Rebel as well. With the initiation here onto Magikush, there is going to be the Nightmare trying to disjoint this a little bit. The All Scepter holding him back. He uses the roll up, but doesn't matter. Not going to keep him alive. So the high ground push is coming. No PL for another 35 seconds. They do have a buyback from the Pango. Creep Wave still a little bit of ways out. Maybe they might actually be able to hold on time to keep the set of barracks alive. Or they might have to sack it. I suppose they've got a few decent ways of killing the Creep Wave. They can Acorn Bushwhack with Bloodright. Should be a pretty effective way. As well as obviously using the Glyph. The HellRaisers, they're actually going to double down to go for the aggressive play here. Use the Glyph to keep it alive for as long as possible. They will now have to tank it up, but the Sunray's going to make good work out of that. But tier 3 does fall. The PL has just respawned. Pasha actually goes for the aggressive swap there onto Fezzel. They take him down. No Bane. He's going to immediately buy back as well as the Pangolin, but they still found the grab onto Era at the same time. He's also buying back. Triple here being committed from Qwerty. They want to take this fight. Resolution again focused up, but he still has the Aegis. He's going to come back into this. It looks like Pasha's first life will probably just get ended here, but he's got the illusions obviously. He's going to be able to carry on playing. Resolution though, he just pops the BKB, TP's out. He says, alright, we've got what we wanted, boys. I'm leaving. They do hemorrhage 2 supports as well as the offlane kill, but even still, he does actually have the illusion to disengage. He just denies the bounty. So that's pretty effective trade once again for HellRaisers. They take down the tier 3 and they force a triple buyback from Qwerty, which significantly damaged their economy right now. 11,000 gold into the advantage of HellRaisers. I mean, sure, you did get technically 3 kills as well as the removal of the Aegis, but pretty expensive. If that same move happens again, obviously Qwerty won't be able to respond in the same way, at least not for another 7 minutes. And I imagine HellRaisers can probably mount that same sort of aggression within that amount of time. Meanwhile though, Qwerty will use that space to their advantage, taking down the tier 2. Maybe they might be able to go for the one at the top lane as well. Magikush did just push it in. It doesn't know they want to commit for it. Obviously, both supports are alive, as well as the actual Venge coming back now as well. Yeah, and they're all just falling back towards their own side of the base. Side of the map, really.
Stupendous.
Actually, this is a massive fallback. Not even like farming up any of the real creep waves. Just making sure that they're always going to be playing on their side of the map with the best vision possible. But even still, it's not like it's exactly great right now. They've only got one obs to put down. Apart from that, they've got significantly limited vision. Now on the side of HellRaisers, they got a little bit. They've only got the one outside of the enemy base. Still a pretty good spot. Comar's actually going to show himself, farming up in the mid lane here. Pasha thinking about going for a swap, but Comar immediately goes to the doppelganger. But even still, the rest of HellRaisers are up to the high ground. They're knocking onto the tier 3s, going to force everyone on the side of Qwerty to fall back right now. And by the time they get here, they might have already lost their tier 3. Petrus just coming in, does have to push back to delay this for a little bit. He will already charging the sharpshooter as well, which will get the land, as well as the Rod of Atos does a lot of damage, as well as the Fiend's Grip. They need to cancel out. Yes, they do. It allows the Satanic Resolution to go back up to full HP as well. So he's going to try and stand his ground. Petrus already dropped for this. The egg gets commit into the backline, trying to keep him alive. Fezzel's getting ran at from Rebel. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive. They're trying to focus onto Comar as well. He gets stuck into the trees, but it does look like they actually have the vision to carry on diving onto him. Pash has no fear though, still got that loot to play with, so he just carries on diving forwards. He gets the correct stun once again onto Comar, swaps it back to the rest of the team with the silence. Down goes to PL, he's forced to buy back. But even still, it's a 5 versus 3 right now. They don't have any of their ultimates to play with. They've lost a set of barracks, they're probably going to lose the mid as well. And maybe HellRaisers could push for the third. Backdoor protection gets removed for the quick wave at the top lane. This aggression is not going to be holding anytime soon. They get the jump forwards on to come up with the silence. All the control in the world. It's enough damage. He's dead. That's just game. Aero's about to die. Only a couple more hits required. This Radiance is actually slowly burning him down. The Wave of Terror actually just clips him, gets the finish, and GG's called. Quaid, they tap out. They get 2-0'd yet again. This team just cannot find any victories. It's so unfortunate for him. Oh, even the BM paused at the end of the game. Even still, well played to HellRaisers, just dominating that one. Left, right, and center. I mean, the lane phase, yet again, wasn't actually going too bad for HellRaisers. I mean, Comart definitely had a rough start, but at the same time, Resolution was punished pretty hard himself. But despite that, HellRaisers was actually able to recover, and it just seemed like Qwerty couldn't. I mean, they were making space for Comart to farm. He was top of net worth quite a few times, but when it came down to actually the 5-on-5 fights, they just didn't really have the coordination. They didn't have the means to get anything out of it. So yeah, they just lose again. But yeah, GG. Well played to HellRaisers. Once again, 2-0. Some much needed points for them. And Qwerty still with 0% win rate. But even still, if you guys enjoyed the series, please think about following me on my Twitch or YouTube. Any help I get, I thoroughly appreciate. And I will see you all for the next series.